They often say there's no substitute for pace, and when it comes to the NFL, speed seems to be one of the key difference makers in the 2023 season. One team in particular has been focusing on speed when it comes to their team, and this is the Miami Dolphins, currently the fastest overall team in the NFL. With the likes of Tyreek Hill, Achane, and Raheem Mostert in the ranks, it seems like no one currently has an answer for this incredible team. However, one man seems to be at the helm of this decision-making, and that man is Mike McDaniel. So join us today as we look at McDaniel and how he's changed the Miami Dolphins from an average NFL team to one of the fastest teams to ever play the game. We also look at how this speed has helped Miami overcome numerous challenges and dissect different defenses with some of the best defensive players. Whilst speed is never something that will go away or become irrelevant, many players like Adrian Peterson had plenty of power back in the day. These players could stiff-arm and truck their opposition defenses, gaining a few crucial yards that might make the difference between punting and first down. In fact, being big and strong is one of the important factors that teams consider, but many coaches often neglect what pure speed and pace can do when you have someone light on their feet.
Some more misdirection. Tua slinging it to the end zone. It's caught. Tyreek Hill. To the sideline, catch made. Cedric Wilson Jr. with a first down.
Wilson with the handoff. Oh, and a big stick by Baker.
Smythe 81. They go to the other side, and Mostert, and he'll get the first down with some tough yards.
Many of these speedsters are too small and don't live long in such a competitive league, but now and again, a player like Tyreek Hill steps up and changes everything.
Hill on the move. It's Hill. Makes one miss.
Or if he tries to run the football. Tagovailoa up the seam. That's where they like to go as Hill.
Tua fires left side for the end zone. Tyreek Hill touchdown.
Top. From the 11, let's see what they do. Here's Hill, stutter step inside the 5.
While having powerful players is always important, the injection of speed that Mike McDaniel has been following seems to have taken the league by storm. In fact, many of the Miami plays heavily rely on burning opposing defenders through pure pace, and by the time defenders realize what's going on through plays, the wide receivers are already down the field.
Return for a touchdown in the middle. Now going deep to the far side, caught! It's Hill!
No chance that his safety is going to be able to make a play on him. The fastest 40 for an offensive player.
Nowhere has this been more apparent than the 70-20 demolition of Miami against the Denver Broncos in Week 3 of the 2023 NFL season.
Miami this great position, second and goal. Shovel pass, Achane, touchdown.
Through various plays, Dolphin receivers would outrun defenders and create running starts that would make it virtually impossible for any defender to come to the rescue. However, Miami has not only implemented this philosophy in the wide receiver position with the likes of Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, but thanks to some careful planning, Raheem Mostert and Achane are arguably two of the fastest running backs the game has ever seen. But how did Mike McDaniel manage to build a team that is purely centered around pace, and what have been the benefits of choosing such a route? If you look at the Miami Dolphins, it is easy to think that they put together a relay team. However, when you look at the philosophy of Mike McDaniel, it becomes apparent why this route had been chosen for the Miami-based side. After the first 3 weeks of the current season, the Dolphins had led every team in major offensive categories. This includes categories like yards, yards per play, points, rushing, and passing. In fact, a quick look at next-gen stats, which charts the top speeds of every ball carrier on every play, will show that the 5 fastest times of the season have all been logged by Dolphins players.
In the second half. Left has Hill out there blocking for him, and a first down.
These would include 2 by Achane, 2 by Tyreek Hill, and 1 by Raheem Mostert. If we consider Jalen Waddle's 35-yard catch during Week 1, the Dolphins have 6 of the 12 fastest plays in the NFL.
Over the middle, got his man, and look at him go! Jalen Waddle for the touchdown!
And when we consider they are currently leading the NFL in every major offensive stat, it does seem like the league has been shifting away from power and now slowly incorporating speed as one of the top offensive weapons. But coming from the 49ers, who have often believed in the power game, many thought McDaniel would continue along this path. Now you might be wondering how McDaniel struck the luck to incorporate such a high-speed team. While many teams, including the Kansas City Chiefs, often had one speedster on the team, the Dolphins have gone for speed with depth. The Chiefs heavily relied on the speed of Tyreek Hill for a few years, but this wasn't enough for McDaniel. You see, even before McDaniel arrived in Miami, Jalen Waddle had already been signed in the 2021 season. He was acquired with the 6th pick in the 2021 draft.
2021 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Jalen Waddle.
As of this video, Waddle has clocked a speed of 20.99 miles per hour in Week 1, ranking him 12th overall for the fastest run. Next would be the acquisition of Tyreek Hill. You see, Hill has always been feared as one of the fastest players to ever play the game. He was acquired in 2022 as the Dolphins would trade away their 1st, 2nd, and 4th round picks while adding a 4th and 6th round pick for the 2023 season to make the deal go through.
3. Tagovailoa throws, it's complete for a first down to Tyreek Hill.
While this deal might seem expensive for Miami, Hill has clocked a speed of 21.66 miles per hour during the first week of the NFL, which sees him as the 2nd fastest overall according to the stat collectors. But with the wide receiver position sorted, McDaniel knew that the running back position needed an overhaul. The Miami coach would start with Raheem Mostert, who would be signed from the free agent list. Mostert originally had a 40-yard combine time of 4.34 seconds, but during the 2023 season, he ran for a 43-yard touchdown, which saw him reach a speed of 21.62 miles per hour for the 3rd fastest time on the current list.
Teams all the time with the great gunners in the history of the league. Mostert takes off and goes the distance for the touchdown.
10 from the 12. Mostert. It's a foot race there with Johnson. Wow!
Playing on the outside now. 2nd and 7. Toss. Mostert. Good block to spring him in a first down.
Finally, the running back position was solidified with the acquisition of Achane, selected with the 84th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. Achane would run in a 67-yard touchdown in Week 3 against the Broncos, achieving a speed of 21.93 miles per hour, which is currently the fastest speed attained by a player in the 2023 season.
Achane, big hole, turns it on, accelerating. You can kiss him goodbye.
From the 24, on first down, a big hole for Achane, still going, down the sideline.
However, having a lot of speedsters does not make any difference, especially if you don't know how to use them. So what have the Miami Dolphins done with their strategy to ensure that this works? During a recent media statement, the question has been posed to Mike McDaniel, and the current Miami head coach had the following to say about the direction of the team. I think one thing we're afforded in our working relationship, speaking of Chris and I, is that we can functionally move in a direction with vision and purpose. So I think we've always shared a commodity for talent, specifically offensive skill positions. McDaniel continued, "We approached it with opportunities, or trying to take advantage of the opportunities or the hand dealt. For the most part, I definitely didn't come here and say, I demand Tyreek Hill, but I sure was like, Chris, we have to, and it's kind of like that. I think those players are getting the notoriety they deserve because they are fast, but they've decided to commit themselves to being football technicians, and that's what's making a big difference." By listening to McDaniel, it became clear that he wanted to take every opportunity he could. With Tyreek becoming available, the Dolphins decided to capitalize on the cards they had been dealt, and with Hill, the decision was made to go for a speedy offense.
Decides so back on the backside. Tua comes out looking to his left the entire time, and Tyreek Hill just one-on-one.
Some more misdirection. Tua slinging it to the end zone. It's caught. Tyreek Hill.
He's played for a long time with Pittsburgh. There is no way to calculate what it's like.
Currently, it seems as if this philosophy has been working, and with the playbook of McDaniel, you can easily see how it's put to good effect. But players are often marked, and eventually defensive coaches catch up to the brilliance of offensive coaches. Do you think the Miami speed will continue to keep them in the league? And do you think they could possibly win the Super Bowl by running around their opponents? Make sure to let us know in the comments.